very warm welcome. I am Gushin Garland and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. We begin with India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi responded indirectly to US President Donald Trump's tariff hike on India. Speaking at a conference, he said India would never compromise on the interests of its farmers, fishermen and dairy sector. Prime Minister Modi also acknowledged that this stand could come at a cost, but added India was prepared to bear it. His remarks follow America's decision to double tariffs on India to 50%, citing India's purchase of Russian oil. US President Donald Trump announced the implementation of new tariffs on over 90 countries, declaring that billions of dollars were now flowing into the United States. The tariffs officially took effect at midnight on Thursday, with the US Customs and Border Protection Agency beginning to collect the new duties. The move follows weeks of negotiations and uncertainty over the final tariff rates. Meanwhile, Trump has said that there is a good chance that he could meet Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. To this, the Kremlin added, and I quote, "At the suggestion of the American side, an agreement has been reached in principle to hold a bilateral summit in the coming days," end quote. This comes after Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff held talks with Putin in Moscow. These diplomatic maneuvers come just a few days before Trump's deadline for Russia to agree to a peace in Ukraine or face new sanctions. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for a face-to-face meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin to help end the ongoing war. Zelensky confirmed a phone conversation with Trump and plans to consult further with European leaders, emphasizing the need for Russia to take concrete steps towards ending the conflict. Ghana's defense minister died in a military helicopter crash along with 7 others, including Environment, Science and Technology Minister. The incident occurred when the Z-9 Air Force helicopter lost radar contact, according to Ghana's armed forces. An investigation into the cause of the crash is underway, with authorities yet to provide an explanation for the fatal incident. At least 3 CRPF personnel were killed and 15 others were injured when their vehicle met with an accident in Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur district. Reports say the vehicles rolled down several hundred feet into a gorge. Police and rescue teams responded quickly and the injured were taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. South Korean prosecutors have requested an arrest warrant for the former First Lady Kim Kye-yeon-hee following allegations of bribery, stock manipulation and violations of financial laws. This follows her questioning on Wednesday. If granted, this would be the first time in the country's history that both a former president and First Lady face arrest. Former President Yoon Suk-yeol is already in detention over his imposition of martial law in December. Top defense officials from Cambodia and Thailand began talks in Kuala Lumpur to finalize a permanent resolution to recent border hostilities. The violent 5-day conflict in July killed at least 43 people and displaced over 300,000. Defense ministers from both countries aim to create guidelines to resolve disputes, reduce military tensions and protect civilians. Thai prosecutors have indicted 23 individuals, including a prominent businessman and representatives of a Chinese state-owned firm. This is over the collapse of a building during the March 28 earthquake that killed at least 95 workers. Authorities allege violations of construction regulations, negligence and document forgery. Several of the accused have denied the charges. Myanmar's acting president, Min Aung has died following a prolonged illness. He passed away at a military hospital in the capital more than a year after withdrawing from public duties due to poor health. Min Aung, 74, was appointed acting president following the military coup that ousted the elected government in 2021. A state-level funeral will be held, though no date has been disclosed. On to climate news now. In India, heavy rains triggered mass evacuations in the northern states of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. In Himachal Pradesh, 1 pilgrim died and over 400 people were evacuated as torrential rains hit Kinnaur district on Wednesday. The Kinnaur Kailash Yatra was suspended after bridges were washed away. Meanwhile, in Uttarakhand, over 190 people were rescued and at least 50 remained missing in Uttarkashi district after two cloudbursts triggered deadly flash floods on Tuesday. Army and disaster response teams continued search operations under challenging conditions. In the United States, Chicago continues to experience poor air quality. This was followed by a hazy day as the air quality dipped into unhealthy range on Wednesday. The main cause is the smoke from over 700 Canadian wildfires. Shifting winds carried the smoke into the Midwest, including Chicago. To make matters worse, ozone pollution from vehicles and factories added to the toxic mix. Experts have urged residents to stay indoors and avoid outdoor activities. An air quality alert is also in place for Thursday and Friday. France continues to battle its largest wildfire in decades on Thursday. The massive blaze in southern Aude has already burnt an area larger than Paris, marking the country's worst wildfire in at least 80 years. In just 3 days, the fire has consumed over 15,000 hectares of land. Meanwhile, nearly 2,000 firefighters have been working non-stop to contain the flames. More than 2,500 homes have lost power and several roads remain closed. Tourists and residents were forced to flee as flames moved dangerously close on Thursday. In Europe, Spain and Portugal woke up to extreme temperatures once again. A severe heatwave gripped both countries, with temperatures soaring above 39 degrees Celsius on Wednesday. In Madrid, temperatures climbed above 37 degrees, while in Portugal's Évora city, they soared past 39. The heatwave is expected to last until Sunday. Meanwhile, official data revealed over 1,000 heat-related deaths occurred in Spain this summer. Experts continue to link these intense heat waves to climate change and rising global temperatures. Environmental activists blocked access to hydropower site in North Macedonia on Wednesday. They protested plans to build at least 2 small dams on the Dosnica River. The project, approved by the government, faced month-long resistance in a remote forested region near the Greek border. Activists claimed it would damage one of the country's last healthy rivers. However, the developer denied violations and promised to follow environmental rules. The standoff continued as of August 6th. On to business, economic and tech news now. Asian stock markets rose earlier today, with Japan's Nikkei and Taiwan's benchmark index hitting new highs on tech gains on Wall Street and hopes for a US rate cut. Investors were also watching for a possible Donald Trump-Vladimir Putin meeting over the Ukraine war, which boosted the euro but weighed slightly on oil prices, as traders gauged the outlook for sanctions on Moscow. President Donald Trump said the US would impose a 100% tariff on imported semiconductors. However, he added that companies that manufacture or commit to build in America would be exempted. The remarks came as Trump pushes to bring manufacturing back to the United States. South Korea confirmed it would be excluded from the tariffs, while Malaysia and the Philippines warned of major economic losses. Donald Trump said companies that fail to honor US factory promises would face retroactive charges. President Trump announced that Apple had pledged an extra $100 billion to expand its US operations and supply chain footprint. The move brought Apple's total US commitment to $600 billion as it looked to avoid new tariffs on iPhones made overseas. CEO Tim Cook said full US iPhone assembly remained unlikely, but noted key components were already produced domestically. According to customs data, China's rare earth exports fell by 23% last month after they hit a record high in June. The drop comes amid scrutiny of Beijing's export policies after it agreed to boost shipments under deals with the US and Europe. Still, official data remains too limited to draw clear conclusions. Over the first 7 months of the year, total exports still rose 13% compared to last year, despite China quietly tightening control over the sector. General Motors and Hyundai announced plans to jointly develop 5 vehicles, including compact SUVs and pickup trucks for Latin American markets by 2028. The partnership aims to lower costs as Chinese automakers gain ground and includes a commercial EV van to be built in the US as early as 2028. Both companies expect to produce at least 800,000 units a year at full scale, but analysts warn the alliance may struggle to match China's low-price EV advantage. United Airlines said a technology issue that forced a grounding of its flights on Wednesday has been resolved, but residual delays were still expected across its network. The problem affected United's pneumatic system, which feeds critical flight data including weight, balance and timing. The US aviation regulator said it offered full support, while the United confirmed it would cover passenger expenses for controllable delays. Blackstone agreed to buy energy data company Inverness as a deal valued at over $6 billion, including a large debt component. The move came as private equity deal-making was picking up again after a slowdown caused by economic uncertainty and trade tensions. Inverness, based in Texas, provides data to energy companies in over 50 countries. It said the deal would boost its growth in AI and real-time energy analytics. Glencore said it would keep its primary listing in London, rejecting a move to the US for now, despite pressure from some investors. The mining giant said a switch would not add value at this stage, but added it would keep options under review. The decision comes as London fights to retain listed companies after a string of departures to other markets with higher valuations. Google announced a 3-year, $1 billion commitment to bring artificial intelligence training and tools to US universities and nonprofits. More than 100 colleges had joined, including Texas A&M and University of North Carolina, with students set to get access to advanced AI tools for free. Google said the program could expand globally as it sought to shape AI learning in classrooms and beyond. Uber confirmed it was in talks with banks and private equity firms to raise funds for a mass rollout of its robotaxi operations. The ride-hailing company said it was pursuing partnerships and multiple models, including revenue sharing and licensing of self-driving software. This followed Uber's tie-ups with Waymo, Volkswagen and Lucid as it expanded into autonomous rides across US cities. Moving to sports, today we begin with tennis. Former women's world number 1 Naomi Osaka continues her victorious run in Montreal. The 4-time Grand Slam champion beat Denmark's Clara Tauson 6-2, 7-6 in the semi-finals. Osaka will meet Canadian teen sensation Victoria Mboko in the finals. Meanwhile, in Toronto Masters, men's world number 14 Karen Khachanov beat top seed Alexander Zverev in the semi-finals. The Russian star fought back from 3-1 down in the final set tiebreaker to beat Zverev 6-3, 4-6, 7-6. He will meet American Ben Shelton in the finals. Men's world number 1 Yannick Sinner reacted to the expansion of Cincinnati Masters from a week to 12-day jumbo version. The defending champion said that if given the choice, he would opt for the classic system of one-week events. Other top 10 players, including Novak Djokovic and Alex de Minaur, have also complained in recent days about the tennis calendar's revision. In cricket, Indian paceman Mohammad Siraj jumped 12 places in the ICC rankings to be the world's 15th ranked test bowler. Siraj achieved his career best test ranking so far after his 5-wicket haul at the Oval during the 5th test against England. Siraj finished as the highest wicket taker in the series, with 23 wickets, having bowled a whopping 185.3 overs. New Zealand Test captain Tom Latham was ruled out of the second and final test of the series against Zimbabwe due to a shoulder injury. Latham, who was ruled out of the first test as well, had been undergoing rehabilitation. Instead, Mitchell Santner will continue to lead the Black Caps, having captained the team in the opening test against Zimbabwe. In football, Diogo Jota will feature in the Premier League's official trading cards for the upcoming season, when the new collection is launched. Liverpool players will also wear a Jota emblem on their shirts and stadium jackets. The club's official charity has announced plans to launch a grassroots football program in the Portugal international's name. The Liverpool striker and his brother both died in a car accident in Spain last month. Alexander Isak's future at Newcastle hangs in the balance. This after the Swedish striker was reportedly told to train apart from the rest of the squad. The 25-year-old has been linked with a transfer move to Liverpool after failing to feature in Newcastle's pre-season preparations. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum expressed support for a female referee who fell victim to online threats after refereeing a men's match. Coach Katya Garcia's decision to award gold to the US club in Cincinnati and not to the Mexican club Monterrey sparked anger among fans at home. In response, President Sheinbaum said the government would contact Garcia to see if she needs help. In basketball, the Indian men's team lost 91-84 to Jordan in overtime in their Asia Cup opening match in Saudi Arabia. World number 76, India went head-on against 35th ranked Jordan. The two teams finished regulation time tied at 80 all. The Indian effort, however, fell short in added time. Arvind Muthu Krishnan led India scoring with 14 points. He was supported by Pranav Prince, Harsh Dagar, Prityanshu Tomar and captain Moin Beg Hafiz. In hockey, the Pakistan men's team will not participate in the Asia Cup to be held in India. In an interview, a Hockey India official confirmed the development. The Men's Hockey Asia Cup is scheduled to begin later this month in India's Bihar. And finally, updates from the world of showbiz. In its second episode of season 27, South Park once again leans into political absurdity. This time targeting US Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Republican Senator J.D. Vance. The episode portrays Noem leading ICE on chaotic raid of a local Dora the Explorer live performance where she shockingly guns down multiple puppies. In the episode, Donald Trump waits with a baby-sized J.D. Vance who offers to oil up Satan for a bizarre sexual encounter. Sean Diddy Combs is seeking a presidential pardon from President Donald Trump as he awaits sentencing for 2 felony charges related to sex trafficking. His attorney, Nicole Westmoreland, and confirmed that discussions with the Trump administration have taken place. Combs was arrested in September 2024 and later convicted on serious charges involving prostitution. He now faces up to 20 years in prison with sentencing set for October 3. Three-time Grammy winner Kelly Clarkson has announced a temporary pause on her Las Vegas residency at Caesars Palace due to personal family crisis. Clarkson revealed that her ex-husband and the father of her children, Brandon Blackstone, has been seriously ill, prompting her to step away from the stage to focus on her family. The remaining studio sessions for August had been postponed, with her next performance scheduled for November 7th. British indie pop artist and actress Suki Waterhouse has signed a new record deal with Island Records after garnering acclaim for her sophomore album Memoir of a Sparkle Muffin. In a joint statement, Island Records co-chairman praised Waterhouse's unique artistic vision, calling her an incredible artist and magnetic personality. And Brad Pitt is speeding into record books with F1, which has now become the highest grossing film of his career. The Apple Studios production has racked in $552 million worldwide and is now heading back to IMAX theaters on August 8 with an expanded release planned for August 15th. It is also Apple's most successful original feature till date. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gurshin Galan and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Until then, stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.